Today on Fast Food Origins, we are going to talk about the origin of Johnny Rockets. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Fast Food Origins channel and let us know in the comments below what fast food restaurant origins you would like to know more about. So let's get right into it. When Ron Tatelbaum was 5 years old, he would accompany his mother to the Douglas Aircraft Facility in Santa Monica every evening after work to pick up his father. The toddler enjoyed eating at the bright, spotless, open round-the-clock restaurants built up to house workers in the war effort during World War II. There was the Incline, a Santa Monica malt shop known for its amiable soda jerks and flavorful hamburgers. The young youngster resolved that if he ever established a restaurant, it would be exactly like that. The dream persisted even after the diner closed. The boy, who was by then 48, had previously had prosperous careers in real estate and upscale menswear before he established his restaurant on Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles on June 6, 1986. Along with hand-shaped hamburgers, cherry cokes, and apple pie, it also featured soda jerks who produced malts and shakes the old-fashioned way. He gave the name Johnny Rockets to his eatery. At the age of 46, Ron Tatelbaum launched Johnny Rockets after selling his prosperous chain of upscale menswear boutiques with locations in Beverly Hills. It had been his goal to own and run a diner in the style of the 1940s. Despite the fact that he lacked any prior restaurant industry experience, Tatelbaum's restaurant mirrored his longing for the kindness and cleanliness of bygone diners from his own upbringing in the 1940s. But his concept also corresponded with a rise in retro dining ideas. Tatelbaum spent a year and a half meticulously planning his first Johnny Rockets burger and malt establishment, much as he did with his menswear company. Tatelbaum tried to reproduce the hamburger he remembered from his youth. He cooked hamburgers with various seasoning blends until he discovered the ideal flavor. An employee favorite exemplified the lengths Tatelbaum went to achieve perfection in every little detail. In order to find out which brand the establishment used, Tatelbaum returned to a Los Angeles restaurant after closing time with a flashlight and looked in the dumpster for an empty tuna can. The 844-square-foot malt store with 20 red vinyl chairs was part of Tatelbaum's $250 zero-restaurant project. Friends and restaurant industry professionals who were pessimistic said the small-scale concept was doomed to failure. They reasoned that the shop could not maintain a sufficient level of business during slow business hours, between lunch and dinner, and late at night, and that peak meal times would need an excessively long wait. The high-fat menu, which included hamburgers, fried potatoes, and ice cream shakes, did not conform to the perception that Californians favor salad and pasta. Customers flocked to the trendy Melrose Avenue location of Johnny Rockets as soon as it opened, and a line of 30 people developed outside. The waitstaff mixed malts on 30-year-old spindle mixers and gave patrons nickels to play the retro countertop jukeboxes while wearing white, soda jerk-style outfits. The kitchen staff made hamburgers by hand patting them and cooking them to order rather than utilizing a machine that would press the juices from the fresh ground meat. On a cardboard dish, the hamburgers were presented wrapped in paper. Above the gleaming white facade of the restaurant, a neon 1940s-style sign blared, Johnny Rockets, in yellow on a red and blue-lit background. On June 6, 1987, the company's opening day, Johnny Rockets remained open until 5 a.m. to accommodate all of the day's customers. The restaurant sustained a steady flow of patrons in the days that followed, drawing a variety of Los Angeles people of all ages, except on Fridays and Saturdays, when it stayed open until 2 a.m. Business hours were from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. The high turnover cycled once every 30 minutes or so. Every day, Johnny Rockets served 600 to 700 customers, with about 19% of their orders being takeout. Customer spending averaged over $5, and the first year's revenues were $1 million. Within the first year of business, Johnny Rockets expanded into a modest chain with both company-owned and franchised locations. Westwood, Sherman Oaks, and Beverly Hills all saw the opening of eateries in the Los Angeles region, when interested parties approached Johnny Rockets to license the concept. Franchises in Atlanta and San Francisco were the outcome. Minneapolis and Chicago also got Johnny Rockets eateries. I didn't believe it was impossible to make over $1 million in 20 seats, Tatelbaum said in a story published in the October 24, 1988 issue of Nation's Restaurant News, attributing Johnny Rockets' success to his own lack of industry knowledge. I had no idea that folks wouldn't wait in line till the wee hours for a hamburger, fries, and malt. Tatelbaum wanted to safeguard the Johnny Rockets trade dress in order to continue growing the franchise. In August 1989, the business prevailed in New York in the first of its trademark-related cases. Early in 1989, the Johnny Rocket Bar and Grill debuted in New York City against Tatelbaum's protests. Tatelbaum argued that the value of the Johnny Rockets name had been diminished, and he provided evidence for this claim in the form of a deposition from a prospective franchisee who was hesitant to open a Johnny Rockets restaurant in New York due to his concern that the city's residents would be confused by the similar-sounding name. A federal injunction preventing the lounge from using the words Johnny or Rock in its new name was obtained thanks to trademark infringement precedent. Additionally, the business sued Winnipeg, Manitoba's Suzy Q's diners for violating trade dress laws. In order to capitalize on the allure of American popular culture abroad, Johnny Rockets expanded internationally. In September 1989, Tatelbaum opened a Johnny Rockets restaurant in Tokyo using a network of contacts he had made through his clothes company. In 1990, a Johnny Rockets restaurant was established in London by City Centre Restaurants, which also ran a number of other casual dining franchises. In addition, a potential franchisee approached the business about setting up a Johnny Rockets in Melbourne, Australia, and this project started to take shape. With 6 company-owned and 22 franchised locations, the business had grown to 28 outlets by June 1992. There were numerous supporters of the Johnny Rockets dining idea, including Lloyd Sugarman, former senior vice president of Johnny Rockets. Sugarman also secured franchise rights for the San Francisco Bay Area and the first restaurant in San Francisco, a 42-seat establishment in the Marina. In the summer of 1992, Sugarman opened 2 additional stores to spur expansion in Northern California while advancing discussions for future locations in San Jose, Santa Rosa, and Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. Although Sugarman had to work hard to get the Fisherman's Wharf location, it would set a big precedent for the business. In an effort to preserve the historical integrity of Fisherman's Wharf, the mayor of San Francisco forbade fast food establishments there. However, the city did permit a Johnny Rockets malt shop since it offered made-to-order shakes and cooked-to-order hamburgers, which were distinct from fast food businesses that offered pre-cooked sandwiches upon request and served premixed shakes. The problem established the market void between fast food and casual dining establishments that Johnny Rockets filled. Customers who were tired with quick food and desired full service as well as reasonably priced, freshly prepared meals were catered to by that niche. Quick food preparation suited that clientele, but Johnny Rockets stood out for having waitstaff members who were known to spontaneously break into song and dance routines while holding ketchup bottles as microphones. The waitstaff at Johnny Rockets taught their employees up to 9 dance moves to classic tunes from the countertop jukeboxes, including Great Balls of Fire and Respect. Every 3 to 4 weeks starting in the middle of 1992, the corporation built a new burger and malt store. In August 1992, the brand opened new locations in Encino and Agora Hills, expanding its reach in Southern California. In Miami, Baltimore, Scottsdale, Arizona, Sunriver, Oregon, and Burlington, Massachusetts, new franchisees have opened. With only 20 to 26 seats, unit-level sales were $850,000 yearly on average. Since the chain needed experienced franchise development leadership to grow, Ray Cabana, a former executive of Taco Bell and Kentucky Fried Chicken, was named president in June 1992. Tatelbaum remained CEO and chairman. As Johnny Rockets expanded, the company had to deal with issues relating to its identity. After a Johnny Rockets knockoff opened in Cancun, Mexico, Tatelbaum established a new precedent for the Mexican authorities to accept international franchise law. Just in time for Johnny Rockets' debut in Mexico City in April 1993, the company won the legal battle, and officials from the government forcibly closed down the establishment. Another incident happened 2 days prior to the inauguration of a Johnny Rockets restaurant at the West Edmonton Mall in Alberta, Canada, which at the time was the biggest shopping center in the world. To stop the opening, McDonald's of Canada requested an injunction. According to the agreement between McDonald's and 555, the mall's owner, no other fast food establishment was allowed to serve hamburgers in the Phase 2 area outside of the food court. The Fisherman's Wharf location served as an illustration of Johnny Rockets' positioning as a full-service eatery. Injunction was withdrawn in June after an Alberta court rejected McDonald's of Canada's allegation that Johnny Rockets was a fast food establishment. Negotiations with Carpenter Investment and Development Corporation, whose core interests included developing hotels and commercial centers, were sparked by Tatelbaum's plans to grow the Johnny Rockets franchise. With its familiarity with urban centers and shopping complexes, as well as its connections to shopping centers and hotels owned by Hilton and Hyatt, 699 would help Johnny Rockets expand. In June 1994, Johnny Rockets International, as the business was then known, and 699 reached an agreement for 699 to buy a controlling stake in it. However, Johnny Rockets' internal conflicts hindered the transfer of ownership to 499. Tatelbaum and Alfred M. Block, another majority stock owner, had to agree on separate terms of sale with Rockets Holding it, which was established to manage the transaction. In the short term, Johnny Rockets kept expanding and prospering. In 1994, Johnny Rockets had 63 locations, with 5 in Australia, 3 in Mexico, 1 in each of Japan, England, and Canada, and 1 when it received Nation's Restaurant News Golden Chain Award. Each customer received an average check of $6.50. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich was added to the kids' menu, and a vegetarian burger called the Streamliner was added to the regular menu, both of which were rare alterations to the menu. Johnny Rockets inked a contract in April 1995 to open a restaurant on the casino's main floor at the Hilton Casino Resort in Reno, Nevada. Breakfast was offered so that gamblers who were up all night and early could participate. In 1995, new stores debuted abroad in Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates. In November 1995, 699 completed the acquisition of Johnny Rockets, renaming the combined business the Johnny Rockets Group. Tatelbaum and a group of minor investors held the remaining 5%, leaving JRG with a 95% stake. Patrikoff and Company Ventures, Inc. of New York invested $12.5 million. General Motors Pension Fund contributed $10 million. Center Partners of New York contributed $6 million, and $699. CSK Ventures and $699 were the other key investors. $44 million was invested in total, with $25.6 million going to prior investors, $12 million going for expansion, and $4.4 million going into buying 5 franchises. A period of volatile leadership transitions came after the shift in ownership. Tatelbaum stayed on the board of directors after JRG was established and was appointed as the company's creative consultant. The new CEO of JRG is Jeffrey Campbell, formerly the chairman and CEO of Burger King, even though he reported to Campbell up to his resignation. Cabana had the title as CEO. Due to conflicts over management's decision to franchise or open company-owned units and strategy for the rate of development of new stores, Campbell resigned in July 1996. In February 1997, Glenn Hemmerle was elected president of JRG. With Pearl Vision, Crown Books, and Athlete's Foot, he had retail experience, but no restaurant background. The menu items hot fudge sundae, lemonade, and a hot dog, chili dog were added as a result of Hemmerle's strong focus on serving customers. A Johnny Rockets art program was started in order to enhance the company's brand identification. David Willardson, who is well known for his movie posters for American Graffiti and Raiders of the Lost Ark, created 10 oil paintings of the Johnny Rockets emblem and recognizable menu items. The former artwork that had previously hung in Johnny Rockets restaurants was then replaced by the new artworks. In the summer of 1999, JRG worked with Warner Brothers to promote the animated feature film The Iron Giant. The movie's plot revolved around a single mother who worked as a waitress at a malt shop decorated in the style of the 1950s. Every young customer at Johnny Rockets received a comic book or cassette tape for the first 3 weeks following the film's debut. T-shirts, sweatshirts, and caps with the Johnny Rockets insignia embroidered on them were among the promotional goods sold at Warner Brothers shops as part of the promotion. One of the company's advertising goods was a CD of vintage songs from Johnny Rockets jukeboxes, including Stand By Me and Under the Boardwalk. JRG's plans for expansion in late 1999 included 35 new units and included more than 120 restaurants spread across 25 states, Washington, D.C., and 7 different countries. Cancun received a new Johnny Rockets location in August, and a second was in the works for the city. The first branded restaurant chain to have a location aboard a passenger cruise ship was Johnny Rockets, which opened in November 1999. A 259-seat Johnny Rockets malt shop was installed on the pool deck of Royal Caribbean International's latest cruise ship, Voyager of the Seas, according to an arrangement. More Than a Restaurant was produced by Ron Tatelbaum. In announcing Tatelbaum's passing, Michael R. Shumsky, the current chairman and CEO of the Irvine-based Johnny Rockets, noted that Tatelbaum established a legacy. The continuous success, prosperity, and expansion of Johnny Rockets are evidence of his dedication to excellence and high standards. On his days off, Tatelbaum could be seen riding his Harley-Davidson while decked up in leather or enjoying his assortment of hamburger-themed toys. He loved working, but only cancer could prevent him from doing it. Over the years, when asked by coworkers about his retirement plans or exit strategy, Tatelbaum always replied, "When I die." For more fast food restaurant origins, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when new content is uploaded.